what is Cisco router? By the way, router is a layer 3 device. It's a network layer OSI model working on layer 3. And generally we are using router for a gateway, like a door. When you go outside to your home, so your gate is like a gateway to go outside to connect you to your outside world. The same thing is Cisco router. Normally we are using this one to connect any other network. So it means Cisco router is a device which connect different network, LAN to WAN to WAN, one network to another, one subnet to another subnet. So we call them Cisco router. And it store the routing details. It's keep the information in routing table, which we will see in detail, by the way. And in routing table, they will keep the best path. And how they are keeping, again, we will discuss later in the course. How they get the best route to keep them in the routing table. So basically, Cisco router connect different network, different subnet. It's like a translator, interpreter. When two people are speaking different language, so they need someone to understand both languages to connect them together. And that guy is called interpreter, translator. Like suppose if our Prime Minister come to Saudi Arab, so they're not speaking English. So definitely they are speaking Arabic and he is speaking English and Urdu. So now they need a translator. Same thing is happen in router. They will connect different subnet to work together. Cisco router, destroy broadcast domain is creating another broadcast domain. And broadcast traffic cannot be passed through router. So it's keeping route okay. But router is not just to give you a best path and a best route. You can use them for many purposes. For netting, network address translation. Again, we will do in detail. ACL, access control list, Intel VRAN routing as a firewall. You can use them as a firewall as well. For segmentation as well. For logical subnetting as well, we are using router. So it's a layer 3 device. And it's forwarding the traffic based on packet. Again, we will discuss packet and frame. And this the structure of the router. It can be in many structure like a laptop, maybe your iPad, your iPhone, what is called? Apple laptop is different in shape. Lenovo is different, Dell is different, HP is different, but at the end of the day they are working for same purpose. So router can be in different shape, but end of the day is similar. It's just like a laptop. When you open a router, inside you will see all the stuff same like a laptop. There is a motherboard, there is a fan, there is a hard drive, there is a CPU, there is a RAM, there is NVRAM. Everything inside is just like a laptop. Okay, so router is nothing but just like a laptop inside. It's like a device, but it's working for specific purpose. So if you open it, you will find CPU, central processing unit, and also it's in laptop as well. You will find a RAM, random access memory, a temporary memory. So temporary memory is in our laptop as well. Then there is NVRAM. It's a permanent storage. So we have also NVRAM in our laptop, either in desktop. So when you open it, the RAM is just like our normal RAM. You can see this one. CPU is also similar. Inside a router, you will find a flash memory. Flash memory where they keep the operating system. We will discuss operating system a bit later. Just like in our device, our operating system in C drive. Normally it's in C drive, this one. This is the operating system. Windows operating system I have, Windows 10. So the same thing is in here as well. And flash memory, router keep their operating system, iOS, enter operating system. And memory size is different, like a hard drive we have. So hard drive, maybe you have much hard drive, I have less hard drive. Same thing as in router. It can be 32, it can be 64 megabyte, it can be 128, it can be 256, it can be 512, and so on. And you can upgrade and you can increase the memory just like a hard drive, which you can increase in your laptop. There is a read-only memory. So we have in our laptop read-only memory as well. You know, it used for startup, for bootstrap, to start the device. So it start from ROM. So read-only memory is also there in laptop as well, and also in router as well, which can be like this one. It's a chip, by the way. Now coming, the major difference is CLI. What is CLI? Command line interface. And when do we have a graphical user interface? We are using mouse to drag and drop and do whatever we want. But in Cisco router, you need to use CLI, command line interface. You need to type a command. Even in Windows, we can use command. If we go to command prompt, so I can go to dir to see this one. I can make a folder mkdir test. So I create a folder. So even in router, you can configure them graphically as well, but limited one. But most of the time, 80% you will use CLI to configure Cisco router through console, either through terminal, either through telnet, through SSH. You can use many methods, HTTP, HTTPS, SNMP, to configure them. But most of the time you will use command line interface, command to type to configure it. This is the major difference between router and a laptop. Okay, so here you can see power supply. So we have a power supply, flash memory, boot ROM, and CPU. Everything is outside. It will look like this one. This is the power cord which we connect. So it's the same in our desktop as well. There is a power button. There is console port, auxiliary port, and Ethernet, maybe fast Ethernet, gig interfaces, and so on. Serial is not anymore, but anyway, it's also there. It's the old model, by the way. A new model, maybe you will find these interfaces many. Maybe instead of fast Ethernet, you will find a terabyte either gig interfaces. Maybe power supply is 2 in the new routers, and maybe different one. But end of the day is the similar thing. Like I show you that there is a difference between Apple laptop and Dell laptop, but end of the day everything is similar inside. So router memory, I already told you, ROM, read-only memory. There is a permanent memory which they use them to boot from there. Many operating system are there. First time when the device boot up, so it get the detail from ROM. Okay, RAM is random access memory. Like if I open a notepad and type something and suddenly my device switched up, so all these things, whatever I wrote here, it will be not saved because I did not save. Everything I'm doing here is in random access memory. The same thing is in router. We call them random access memory. Temporary. If your device boot up, so everything will not showing, it will not save. So our running configuration are stored in random access memory. Okay, and ROM is read-only memory, where first time the device boot up from there, and there is a mini operating system, just like a mini operating system to boot them. So I already told you RAM is if you wrote something in the router and if the device boot up and lose power, so your content will be lost. Okay, NVRAM is a permanent storage, just like a notepad. If I save them, suppose if I wrote something in Control S and I save on my hard drive, suppose here, So if suddenly something goes wrong, I can open the same file. So same as here, NVRAM and router. Even if your device lose power, again you can retain all the content which is in NVRAM. Flash memory is a place where they store operating system, just like our C drive. And it can be in many size, which I show you and I told you about. Okay, how we can find all these detail? And system, we say this PC, and if you go to properties, so if somebody asks me how much RAM do you have, so I will come to here and I will say I have 16 GB RAM and I'm using 64-bit operating system, and my operating system is Windows 10 Enterprise, and my processor is this one, i7. This is what we find out, yeah. But what about in router if somebody asks you? So let me go there. So let me go to this router. I'm using Eve and just drag the router, just I show you. Okay, and if you go there and enable show version and enter, so you will find all the detail here. This my random access memory, temporary memory. We store temporary thing all together. You have to plus these two to make them RAM. This is our RAM. Then where is the other one? It should be here. This is the NVRAM. We have 55 kilobyte NVRAM, which I told you what is NVRAM. A small memory, a small chip which store many operating system to boot up this device. Random access memory is store our running configuration, a temporary things which we configure in router. Two things. This the flash memory. We have two flash memory, by the way, in this router. Normally you will find one. 131072K is our flash memory. And flash memory, when you type dir, so this is the flash memory. And if you, I think so it's combined and they're showing. Okay. So this is the flash memory where they save the operating system. The operating system are here. And what else I need to show you? That's it. So we have this the RAM, this the NVRAM, and this the flash memory. Another thing we can find out from show version, uptime. Normally when your device is down, because I'm here, so let me show you. Sometime when there is a troubleshooting and you want to find out why the device boot up, so you can type show version to show you for how long this device is on, uptime. Another thing, what is the reason last time this device boot up? It will show you here. If there is any reason, maybe let me show you and switch, maybe it's clear there. It's not clear in this one because we are using simulation, so sometime show version. So here it's a bit okay. It says this switch is on since 1 hour 21 minutes, and also last time is reload unknown reason. It will show you the reason as well. Why? I remember when I was giving interview first time here, so one company they asked me where we can find that for how long the device is on and what was the reason last time it was boot up. So it's the answer is a bit awkward, yeah. If you say show version, because show version will show you the version, so you will hesitate that maybe it's some other command, but it's a show version. So keep in mind, it's an interview question. If they say for how long the device, so you can find out here as well. Okay, let me go back. So that's the thing where we can find out an NVRAM and flash memory. I show you from show version. Router mode, we have exec mode, which with the greater than privilege mode, because it's a low level, so I will go quickly. In global configuration mode with this sign, and from global configuration mode you can go to anywhere, sub interfaces, you can go to line mode, you can go to so many places. So this the way like a stair, you can come from enable mode, from enable to exec, from exec to configuration, and from configuration you can go to anywhere. Now in Cisco router, by the way, if the new student, so let me show you quickly. Okay, when you first time, let me sign out from here. Yeah, so that's the first mode. Here you can type very limited command. Okay, this is called user mode, and you can use question mark to find out the command. This is the all command which we can run here. And enable, from here I find out enable is here. If you go to enable, it's written to go to privilege command. Okay, so I type enable. You can use tab key to autocomplete and go to enable mode. This is the new mode which we call them enable either privilege mode, and from privilege mode you can go to configuration mode. So these are the three mode. This the sign, greater than sign is a user mode, then hash sign means you are in enable mode, and hash with configuration and square bracket is called configuration mode. And you can use question mark anytime to get the help. By the way, it will not take a wrong command, so don't worry. Now what is command? Basic command structure is in Cisco router you need to type like a ping, either show. So this ping or show or any other, we call them command. Then there is a space, and every command, after every command you need to type a space, and then the after space you need to type a keyword or argument. We call them keyword or argument. So if I go there, okay, control C, it's so many command, control, okay, my goodness, never stop. Yeah, so let me go to, so if I say show IP interface brief, so show is the command, then you can see there is a space between every command. So this is called command, and these are the argument. Okay, either the keyword, and you can type enter, so it will show you. So this is the way to type the command. If you type them all together, it will not work. It will say invalid command. So this is the basic structure how to type a command in Cisco router. So ping is a command, and this one either IP protocol, all these we call them keyword or argument. And you can give them any argument, you can give them many argument, just like I say show IP interface brief. So IP interface brief, all these are the keyword or argument, and the first one is command. Okay, so we know this one now. This is the basic structure how to type the command, and there is a space between every argument. Now in Cisco router you will get three different error normally. One is ambiguous command, another one is incomplete command, and the third one is invalid input. Incomplete command, ambiguous command, and invalid input. Let me show you there. Okay, if I say C and enter, they say ambiguous command. What does it mean by ambiguous? They say there are many commands which start from C, so it's ambiguous for me. How? Let me type question mark with it. They say from C there is call, there is CC manager and clock, and so many things are starting from C. So they say it's an ambiguous command. So I say okay. So now I say clock, clock is okay, but I type enter. Now they say incomplete command. Incomplete command, if you get this error, these are the three main error which you can get in router and switch. Ambiguous means there are many things starting from the same command. Incomplete command means the command is not complete. If I say question mark, so there is a set. So I say okay, set. Now they say type HH and means hour, minute, and so on. So I say 1 and 1 suppose. Then I type question mark, so it's helped me to type 1 suppose, and month is January suppose, and year is 2020 suppose. Now at the end they say carriage return, C or carriage return. Then the command is complete, now you can enter. But what I done, I type from my side another thing, January. Now they say invalid input, and it will show you the mark that something is wrong here. So these are the three major errors which you can get in router: ambiguous command, incomplete command, and invalid input. Got it? Okay, let's go to our router now. Now coming to operating system. What is operating system, by the way? Operating system is a software which connect your hardware and you together. It's like a middleman. In window, if you crash your window, you cannot do anything in this laptop. It's useless. Even though you have a RAM, you have a hard drive, you have SSD, you have everything, you have a best laptop, but if you remove the operating system, it's good for nothing. It's like a soul. We call them soul, or what is called. Inside our body, we have a soul. When somebody die, so this body is good for nothing. Same as this operating system. We call them operating system, which connect your hardware and you to work in the hardware. It give instruction to the hardware to do this job for this guy. He got a good SSD and he got a much RAM, do it faster. Like a human. Our Asian people, they are more stronger because they are working hard working. But here in case these people not used to with hard work. So it means they have a much RAM and much CPU. And these guys have a less CPU. Those guys are using SSD and much RAM. They are using less memory. So operating system basically give instruction to the hardware to do this job. Now coming to router. And router, we also have operating system, which we call them Inter-Network Operating System, iOS. This is the old operating system Cisco using. Show version. So here it say Cisco iOS software. Enter operating system. Whatever you can see on the screen, this written thing, that's the operating system which showing you all the thing. This is called operating system, iOS. And I will tell you about this operating system, which is in switch, I believe. But this iOS is command line interface. The one which are using in Windows is graphical one. That's the only difference. Also, this is the old operating system which Cisco using. Inter-Network Operating System, iOS. And how you can find out? If you say show version, it will show you Cisco iOS, which I told you. I show you as well. You can connect to this operating system through CLI, through console, through telnet, through SSH, and through graphically as well. But this operating system is the old operating system, just like a Windows 7 and Windows XP. It's using share memory and CPU. It's very slow one. Because it's using the same memory and share memory and CPU. So this operating system is slow. This is the old operating system which Cisco using, and 7237 these routers. So we have many operating system like a Linux, like a Windows, like a Apple, like a Android. All these are called operating system, and I show you in router as well. Now there is another operating system which call them iOS XE. This operating system is flexible and more better than the iOS one. If I have somewhere, let me show you. If I on that device, oh, this is CSR. So let me, maybe this one is also using. So enable show version. What is the operating system? Cisco iOS XE, but here it was Cisco iOS. Here is a XE. So Cisco iOS XE is the latest operating system. Basically, it's a Linux based operating system. Like a Windows XP, some of you maybe remember Windows 8, then Windows 95, by the way. Windows 98, then XP, then Windows 7, then Vista, then Windows 10, all these. You may feel a difference between Windows 8 and Windows 10. Windows 10 is faster, if you remember Windows 8. So what Cisco done, because everything is changing and they need a best operating system to run quickly and do their job quickly. So old days and old router you will see iOS. Later Cisco introduced iOS XE. which is in CSR router, and those router you will find. I show you in the CSR router here. This is the CSR router. You can install CSR router and Eve, which we will use later in the course, so I will show you how to use them. But anyway, what was CSR router? So we are using iOS XE. Okay, that's the CSR 1000. So they are using faster operating system. That's the another operating system which Cisco introduced in 2008. An ASR router, CSR router, and many other router they introduced. We will discuss ASR router. So they have many feature enhancement, new feature, faster, less memory require, multiple processing, not using multiple CPU, multiple core, and it can do faster the work because it's the demand of the time. Then after that, Cisco introduced Cisco iOS XR. Again, that's the a Linux based, Unix or Linux, whatever you call them. It's also a Linux based operating system, and it's designed for high-end carrier routing. You know, the ASR router, CSR router, all these routers, CRS series router, the one which we are using on the edge, they have this operating system. And maybe I have here, but I need to switch on. Maybe let me see this next switches which they have the same operating system or not. So it's gone to the another mode. What there is, I need, let me check. I have there is, yeah, this one, but I need to on this device. I don't know it will on quickly or not. Anyway, so let's go back there. So Cisco iOS XR, if you check them, so it will show you like this way, Cisco iOS XR, and they are using an CSR router and ASR router. These are the edge router, and enterprise network they are using powerful router to do high speed processing. This Cisco ISR is also Unix based operating system. Okay, and which is owned by BlackBerry. They were also using the same one. So this one is also Linux based, Cisco iOS XE. This is the typical one, an old router which is slow. Okay, and these two are the other best one operating system. Now coming to modular routers. What is modular router? You know, modular router means you can change anything if you want. It's a flexible. You can change the modules, you can change the interfaces, you can change the slot, you can change the RAM, you can change the hard drive, you can change anything. So then those router we call them modular router. And normally operating system, modular router operating system named by this way: F0/0, fast Ethernet 0/1, 0/2, there is slash. So if there is a slash, it means these are modular router. And these router are the modular router which you can change many things. If I have here something like, if you want, you can put, I don't have a picture here in for modular, but anyway, it's a flexible. If you want, like, you know, in laptop you can change the RAM, yeah, just remove the screw and put another RAM, that's it. So here in router, those router where you can change the things, so we call them modular router. Now there is fixed and non-modular router. Normally interfaces are named by this way, there will be no slash, and these are the old routers. And those router which is fixed one, you cannot remove anything. Maybe there are two interfaces, that's it, you can use only those two interfaces, that's it, you can do nothing. If I have another image of router, no, I don't have, to show you that there is a modules, you know, you can install new modules in modular router. But in fixed router you can change nothing. Whatever, if there is two interfaces, you can use only those two interfaces. You cannot make them three. This is just one example. Now there is another router, ISR. integrated service router. This is a Cisco best router, one of them best, which we can use on edge on small and medium network for quality of services, for VPN, for video, for audio, for many other things. So you will need ISR router. Suppose if your company say that we want some best router to install on our edge to connect to other branches. So you will say, okay, it means we need ISR router. We have some more as well. I will discuss a bit later, but one of them is ISR router, integrated service router. And these are some of the series of ISR router. Best one. Okay. Another one is ASR, aggregation service router. Again, is for edge, big enterprise network, for quality of services, video conferencing, many other things, VPN connectivity, connected to many branches. Then you need a powerful router, and they have a different operating system. Keep in mind, and these routers, they are not using the typical iOS. It's using the latest Linux based operating system, either ASR, either ISR. Got it? Another one is CSR router, carrier routing system router, for MPLS, for VPN, for site-to-site VPN, for quality of services, for video, for voice, for high-end data delivery. Again, you need a powerful router, which is CRS, carrier routing system router. For internal use, you can use the old one, iOS router, the typical one, old model. So these are somehow introduction to Cisco router. I don't want to go to configure a console and all those things. You may already know, because I don't want to go so basic. How to connect to console and how to connect to telnet. So I hope so you know this one. How to put a password on Cisco router, enable mode password, and many other. We're gonna discuss some of them later in the course. But anyway, this is the basic configuration. You can put restriction, password encryption. You can disable password and login ban and all those things, which the basic command for those new guys. If they don't know, so I'm gonna show you some other time. For the other student, I hope they already know this one. So this was introduction to Cisco router. What is Cisco router? And this is a layer 3 device. What is inside? Then we discuss many part of Cisco router, and then we check a different version of Cisco router, some error of Cisco router, etc.